This conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
But now I'm here. You can talk. You can listen.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah, yeah. So yesterday we have discussed about this one, right? Which is about how do you say that? Simple outbound scenario, right? So today we will try to discuss on this complex outbound scenario. I mean, like we'll see how it exactly works, and then we'll try to start the configuration of that. Okay. Before we start, anyone is having any questions?
No, on my end, no.
Okay.
I am little bit behind in the practice,
Okay.
but I will be soon update. I finished only the number 4 class, just to give you an idea. So I'm like behind the 12th class. It's too much, But
Okay.
But I was busy with many production issues at this time, so this is why I did. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, so everyone is able to see my screen. So anyone else in the call, guys, apart from Nicholas?
Hi, Sri. Good morning. Mohan here.
Hey, hi, Mohan.
I can see your screen.
Okay.
Hi, Sri. This is Karthik here.
Hey, hi, Karthik. Okay. Now, so as being, we know that how a complex outbound works and all, but before we directly jump into this particular complex POSC, we know that how a complex POSC in an inbound works, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone can just give me an overview, like how does a complex POA, anyone, Decon or VAS or whatever, what is the concept of it?
Yeah, hi, Sri. So initially we will have a purchase order for that inbound delivery will be created. After inbound
That is the flow. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just need only the complex POSC setup in inbound. That is enough.
Okay, so complex setup. So it will have an deconsolidation. First, after there will be a put away staging area. After that, there will be a deconsolidation. After deconsolidation, we may have VAS services or packing specifications.
But how does the determination of a POSC happens?
We have configuration node for that POSC. What is the it's a combination of warehouse number, process type, stock type, based on which it determines.
Once again, just in the product master, there will be a put away control indicator. From the put away control indicator, warehouse process type will be identified. In this warehouse process type,
it's process type determination
process.
indicator, basically, not put away control indicator. It's process type determination. Yeah.
Yes, correct. From there, process type will be identified. In the process type, storage process will be configured.
That is what I want.
Enough process, Excel process steps will be there.
That's fine. That's the main thing I want. So ideally, in any of the complex POSC in an inbound, whether you do Decon or a VAS or XYZ process, doesn't matter to me. The main thing is you will have first one thing which is called as a storage process, basically, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now when we have that storage process, basically, we have something called as a steps, right? What is the steps? We have something called as an IB01, IB02, and IB03. Okay, IB01 stands for the deconsolidation, sorry, unloading. IB02 stands for the deconsolidation, and IB03 stands for the put away. The same way, when we are talking about an outbound, okay, we have even the same set of things, like we have a storage process, okay, but here we have the steps called as OB01, which is for the picking, OB02, which is for the packing, OB03, which is for the staging, and as well as OB04, which is for the loading. This is TU1 basically. Okay, so ideally we will be having these 4 different steps. Okay, even we will try to create the same set of things, like what we will create one storage process, but here we will not assign this to the warehouse process type. That's what the thing is. Okay, so now if you see this, what happens here is, in the warehouse process type, normally if you remember that yesterday we have seen something called as 2010. Do you remember that, the warehouse process type for an outbound, guys?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
2010.
2010. Now what happens here, we will not assign our storage process. What is a storage process? This is the one where we will define what are the steps that needs to be determined for a certain products. Means we are trying to define a route in the sense, I mean, like the internal way, I mean, like a particular product has to undergo. Okay, there could be a normal product or there could be a complex product also, right? Because it's not like all the products in your warehouse has to undergo this way, right? There would be some products which would be directly to the staging, which we'll call it to the direct to stage, right? And there would be some products where it has to undergo through this particular zone. What is that? OB01, OB02, and OB03. So that all depends upon the storage process basically. But however, in an inbound, we used to have a different warehouse process type, but here it's only a single warehouse process type we will use. But how does the system will determine? That's a concept over here. Okay, now OB01 stands for the picking, packing, and staging, and the warehouse process type we will not. But here we will have one thing called as the warehouse order creation rule. Remember this. Okay, we'll come back to this again. This particular warehouse order creation rule is a trigger point for us. Means what does that mean, trigger point, in the sense, ideally this particular WOCR, whatever we are trying to see here, this is the one where we will assign the storage process here. Means this warehouse order creation rule, normally it's a kind of a black box. Okay, means I'm just trying to tell you that. Well, why? Because this is the one where it tries to filter out, like how does the product has to undergo and how many warehouse orders you have to create and how many warehouse tasks needs to be created and in which wave. All these things will come into the picture, basically. You're coming to that point? Hello?
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but we will see that in detail now. Okay, what is that and all. So now first thing is we know how to create a storage process. Okay, OB01, OB02, and OB03. So there's no doubt in that. However, warehouse process type is not a determination criteria for us. That's one thing. Okay, because this is not the one where it gets determined and this is not the one where we will be assigning. Warehouse order creation rule, this is the one which will be defined. So what happens here, we will create one thing called as a WOCR and we will assign our storage process to the warehouse order creation rule. And however, we will define something called as an activity area. Now you tell me, we have seen what is an activity area. I believe we have seen this I've told you that this activity area concept will play a major role in the outbound. If you remember that, I've told you that, right? So what happens here is, now I have 2 different products. One product is a direct to line, I want to say that direct to stage, and the other product is, which is to the, let's say that, a complex outbound. Okay, now if a product A, I have defined a set of warehouse order creation. Means now tell me what is an activity area, guys, before I proceed here.
Activity area is a physical area where we perform put away or removal of stock before we load into a warehouse or remove from the warehouse.
Next.
No, I believe activity area which is
sorry, is it the
Tell me.
Is that related to the picking and packing or the deep what is called? Yeah, the picking and pack related to pick and pack. Is that right? Is that area what you need or not?
Next.
No, I believe it is the area for packing before loading into the vehicle. So we need to maybe repack again. It may be required. So that is the activity area.
Change the handling unit.
Anything else?
Does mean to go from pallet to layer to box. Maybe something like this.
No.
Activity area is like group of bins.
That is what. Yeah. So logically, we will be subdividing the bins, right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
So in inbound, what would we do? But I just want only one thing. Activity area will be assigned to a storage type. Agree, guys? At least you remember that. We will define one activity area, and okay, how does a deconsolidation work out for us, guys? Tell me. What is the basic role for that? Tell me.
Goods will be received at staging area.
No,
then after that,
what is the key concept of a deconsolidation? You remember that I've told you this is how the deconsolidation works. What is that? You should have two different products. Agree?
Yes.
Two different storage types, right? Two different put away control indicators and two different activity areas. Do you remember that? Like if you go back and if you check that, one thing is for an activity area, we will assign the storage type. Do you remember that, guys? Maybe if you can just go through the previous videos and just go back and see. Yet I told you this point that activity area will be assigned to a storage type and that consolidation group will be assigned. How does the consolidation group comes? We will define one number range and that particular number. So what does it happens again? So each and every storage type will have an activity area. Do you remember that, guys? At least, guys, I hope at least that's the reason I've told you to practice till deconsolidation. Did you guys completed that?
And no, Sri, we have completed only up to that normal.
That's
simple.
That's what I've told you, right, guys. At least if you would have covered that, it would be easy for you to understand. But that's fine. But just try to see at least that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Thanks.
So what happens here is, guys, just trying to recap you here. Activity area is nothing but it is a logical subdividing of the bins into a particular activity. Do you remember that I've told you that? How does a warehouse process type gets differentiated? Now, 1010 is also a warehouse process type and 2010 is also a warehouse process type. How does this both the warehouse process type gets differentiated, guys? Tell me.
Based on roles which we assign?
Based on the activity and based upon the warehouse process type categories, right? For 1010 you have a put away activity and for 2010 you have a stock thing one, right? If you remember this. Yeah, I thought you guys have finished all the classes because we had a long gap.
That's the issue. The thing is, like, if we had a gap, right, we don't proceed usually. That's the issue.
But at least I thought you would have finished the practice also.
Yes, I mean, we have little more work over here. That's why we missed out. Yeah,
Like if you
we
see
will
this, yeah. Now you see what is happening here. Warehouse process category, right? What is this one?
put away.
That's for the put away, right? 1010. And an
Okay.
activity is what? Put away, right? And the
Yes,
same
yes,
way, if I go for 2010, what is happening here? It's two, right? Okay. So it's stock removal, right, guys? And
yes,
the activity is pick here. You see that? So that is what the differentiation what we have here, guys. You understand to me what I'm
yeah.
trying to say here? Okay.
Uh,
Now on the other thing, okay, you see the rest of the things, what happens? It's the same. Only the thing is for 1010, the source would be this, and for 2010, the destination would be different because we are trying to change that. It's based upon, and that the other thing is an activity area is a one where we will assign a certain activity to a bin, whether it could be your put away activity or your stock removal activity, means your put away or your peak or your replenishment or your internal or whatever it is, guys. Okay, so these are all the set of activities that we will be assigning basically. You're getting my point? Okay.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Just remember that, guys. Okay, because at least this week we'll finish at least the complex outbound, guys. Okay, maybe by next week at least you try to finish the simple inbound one. Why? Because we'll see LOSC from next week. At least you need to understand the difference, right? So at least try
Yeah,
to
yeah.
practice it. Okay.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Yeah, because
definitely we will complete by
if I
two
keep
days.
on going, no, I don't mind. I'll keep on going, but down the line you'll not understand what is happening. That is what my concern. Okay.
Sure, Sri. We'll take.
Now, the same thing here, what happens is product A could be in a same storage type or it could be in a multiple storage types. So it could be in a, what I can say that is, it could be in the same storage type. Okay, means what I can say that yeah, a product whatever we have, it is getting stored in some XY, maybe in a hierarch storage type. Let's assume that the product B we have, it is getting stored, okay, in some another open storage type. Now what happens is we have designed in such a way that the products which are all coming from an hierarchy, okay, has to undergo the complex process. The products which are coming from a different storage type has to undergo open storage type. So what happens then in that case, guys? So the product of 1, 2, 3, 4, what we will do is we will define one activity area, and that activity area we will assign a warehouse order creation rule. That warehouse order creation rule, whatever we have assigned, we will have the storage process for that, because a warehouse order creation rule is already created and we will assign our storage process to that. So our storage process is what? OB01, OB02 and OB03. But for the second product, whatever we are trying to define for a simple process, we will not define any warehouse order creation rule and we will not define any activity area, such that what happens, the product will directly go to the stage, right? Like what we have seen yesterday. So what does that mean? So the products are being differentiated based upon your activity areas here. You're getting my point, guys?
Yes, Sri, but activity area which is assigned to the warehouse type or the
No, it
product
is not
master.
assigned. That's what I'm meaning. The activity area will be assigned to a storage type. Okay.
Okay.
So the storage type, what happens when you are picking it from that particular storage type? Basically, if the activity area, it's all depending upon the products, guys. Simple example. Now, in a hierarchy, you might be having somewhere around some 10 to 20 products, or maybe some 30 products, whatever it is. So all those 30 products you have designed in such a way that you have to undergo the complex process. The rest of the products, whatever you have it in another storage type, you doesn't want to have it because it is not required for you. Okay. based on your things. So what does you do then? So then in that case, you will not define the complex outbound, right? You're getting my point?
EST. I got
Am I
it.
am I clear so far or still not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's clear.
Any questions now? Hello?
No questions, Sri. You can
No
continue.
questions for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Thank
that is
you.
how the complex outbound works in the system. So that's what I've told you here. Complete thing. There's nothing much strange I can show you. But one thing you have to understand here is, guys, just remember this rule. Warehouse order creation rule, we'll have three different things. One as a standard default one. The other one would be your custom one, whatever we are defining, and the other one is undetermined. Okay, so just remember that this anyhow we will see that in tomorrow's session. I mean, like the creation part and all, don't worry. But just remember this. Okay. Now what we are trying to do here, basically, we will try to tell you. I'll try to tell you what happens here. Now you see that we have something. See, this is one storage type. This is another storage type. Activity area TD01 and activity area 0020. So these both the activity areas are being assigned to a warehouse order creation rule. Now what is happening here? This particular warehouse order creation rule, whatever we have defined, now you see that there is something called as a pick HU. Now what is this pick HU?
Handling
Now,
unit.
this is a kind of toad box, I can say, basically, simple in a simple terminology. Like what happens is user, normally a warehouse user, what happens, he will have a trolley basically, and he will place the products, whatever the products that needs to be moved to a staging area, he will place in that particular pick handling unit, and he will take it to the work center, and from that particular work center we will move it to the staging area, and from the staging area we will move it to the loading one. Okay, so this is all the scenario where we can see that. Okay, the pick HU and the packing work center and the staging and this thing. Okay, but what is this pick HU? So pick HU is a kind of an handling unit. I mean, like, where we'll create it on the fly, because it's not something where a vendor or someone will be sending it. It's we will be creating. It's a kind of a tote box, maybe. Did you understand that what I'm trying to say here? This big hit, you guys.
Yes,
Sri,
sir.
we understand.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 second. Wait 1 second. Wait, guys. Okay, I'll try to give you an overview in that. Just have a look into this video and just tell me what exactly he's doing, and then I'll come back to you. What is it trying to do, guys?
He got a label and to pick up a few products, and he pick up the first three, the second three, and following his following his order with the
because first thing you forgot, he has scanned one thing, the blue tote, right?
Yeah.
That is what epic HUI refer to in the warehouse terminology. You getting my point? Everyone? Karthik and everyone, Mohan. So this is a peak handling unit where we will create it on the fly. Okay, this is a kind of a tote box. Okay, so why? Because you can have it's not only a tote box, guys. You can create your own what do you say that a carton box, or you can create your trolley or whatever it is, but normally it's a picking kind of a handling unit which we will create over here. Clear? Or am I not clear now? Hello?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Sorry, what happened? Any questions again?
Now we pass to the staging area. Is that right? He will pass with the blue box to the staging area, maybe. Is that right? And to pack it, or what will happen?
1 second. What is that? I didn't get you. Please, can you just repeat that?
Now we will take this box, blue box, with all this box, small box, to the packing area, the staging area, to the staging area to do
because what he's trying to do, he is picking up the products from all the aisles, right? So basically what he's trying to do here is, if you see that here, we have created one blue tote box. So he's picking the products from here, he's picking the products from here, and from here, and from here, and he has filled this pick HU. And there is another picker from another storage type. He will pick all the products from here also. That's another blue tote box. He will bring all these two tote boxes into the work center. You're getting that? So here what we do, we will try to consolidate based on your customers, or based on your routes, or based on your whatever it is, the criteria you have. We will consolidate your products over here, and then we will try to put it in the staging area. You getting my point now, everyone? Hello?
See here whether stock will be transferred from the bins to the pick handling unit.
Yes, obviously.
Okay.
It will be transferred. It would be transferred, obviously, because if it is not transferred, how does the system will manage to go there? Because pick handling unit is a place where it is trying to have it there, right? Obviously, it will.
And a pick handling unit will not be a predefined units, right? It's whenever it is required, we can just create it.
See, that's what. So it can be predefined in such a case that you have designed your warehouse in telling that irrespective of your activity area, means irrespective activity area means, yeah, I'm talking about irrespective of your storage types, you have only one tote throughout your warehouse. Is it possible? Tell me.
Yeah, of course, it is not possible. It depends on the products who may have to design it.
Because depending upon your products, depending upon your sizes of the product, you have to define. So for one activity area, you would use tote box. For another activity area, you have to use another kind of an thing. If it is an automobile industry, I agree that okay, sometimes you may use for most of the activity areas as in one trolley. But when it comes to this particular pharma industry, okay, because most of the products you would be having is small things, I agree. But when it comes to a retail, sometimes you may not. Okay, and when you go to this kind of a telecommunication one, you may not. Why? Because you have a routers in a different size, and you have a small what is it, the plugs and all, whatever it is, it's a different sizes and all. So it all depends upon the size and the storage bin types, and depending upon your pallets, this all comes into the considerations here. You're getting that? Because when you work for an kind of an telecommunications, like for example, for any kind of an iPhone or whatever, phones, iPads, and MacBooks are all of the same size? No, right?
Agree. Yeah, agree.
Right. So phones of another different size and MacBooks are of a different size, and these are all different size. So you can use, but ideally sometimes you have to differentiate that depending upon the business. Okay, so activity area will plays a major role in the complex outbound scenario. You getting that?
Yes, Sri, but here activity area generally in ideal case, a similar kind of products can be grouped right in under one activity area in general ideal case.
Similar products in a sense?
I mean similar size, something like that in dimensions. Not
That's
like
what,
that.
right? See, in a particular hierarchy activity area, you may use a carton box. So what does that mean? The sizes of all the products where you can fit into that. That's the reason you're using a carton box, right? So you mean to say that, I mean, I didn't get your question correctly.
No, no, activity area. Activity area is a group of storage bins.
Obviously.
So same similar storage type can be grouped in under one activity area, or different storage types also will be under one activity area.
Okay, so basically then in that case, okay, activity areas, you're right, but okay. So I think, okay, you haven't tried it. System would not allow you basically. What happens is, hello?
Yes, Sri. I'm
So
following you.
you can do that, but ideally, okay, you can even do that, but ideally that's not a common practice what we use. We'll try to have a different activity area for a different storage type. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Any other questions here?
No, Sri, from my end.
In now, am I clear on this part, guys, or still not?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah,
Actually.
can I ask a question, but general question, not in the detail. Usually, he scan with the RF. This order, usually this order, it is for only one customer. Is that right? For example, we can say this order for one customer, or it can be multiple customer. This is how we, it's a small detail I'm asking about. This guy, when he scanned the first label and he start to collect the product from the bin, is that something, this order can be for one customer, or how it could be?
You will
It's a
not have
yeah.
that's what you cannot have an order only for a single customers, because if you try to use, okay, this concept we will talk about in the wave management, but normally you will have a multiple orders in that. It's not about a single one. Okay.
Okay, perfect, no issue. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, so that's how this big handling sorry, this big handling unit will be created for us. Okay, and that particular one, whatever we are trying to create, okay, we will move it to a particular staging area, and then I mean to the work center, and then we'll consolidate it, and then we will have it moved in the staging area, and that staging area will be loading up. You're getting now? So are we clear on this particular process, guys, at least?
Yes.
Process is clear. It's clear.
Okay.
Sri.
Or any questions here then?
Nothing so far. Okay, if you can see the configuration, maybe we may get
Configuration, obviously it will take 2 sessions, guys, don't worry.
Okay,
There's a
okay.
lot of configuration in this as well. But I want to make sure that you understand the concept first before I jump into the configuration, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, because that's the reason I'm just today I thought of only telling you how does it works, but tomorrow I'll start the configuration. Don't worry about that. But today you make sure that you understand how the logic is working in this, and then tomorrow I've segregated this into this like what we have done it in inbound. Like if you see that. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. We have this. Okay. So in the step 1, we will take the product and we will define an activity area, and then we will sort the bins, and then we'll create the warehouse order creation rules, and then the storage process, and all these things actually we have here. Determination needs to be done, and warehouse order creation rules, and so many things we have here, guys. Step 2, the pack profile, assigning the condition records and work center, blah blah blah. So many things, guys. That's the reason. Okay.
So can you just brief me about this pack profile, or will you tell me tomorrow
No, I'll
configuration?
come back. I'll come back. Don't worry. There's a
Okay,
lot
okay.
of things again. Okay. First, you understand what is the difference between the inbound complex and an outbound complex. Now, you understood that at least, right? I believe.
And we understood.
Yeah, because in a complex inbound, we'll have what do you say that, okay, in complex inbound we'll have ob01, ob02, but however the only difference in an inbound and an outbound is we will not assign the storage process to a warehouse process type, but here we will assign this to a a warehouse process type. Instead of a warehouse process type, we will assign to a warehouse order creation rule in outbound. In inbound it is not. Clear, Karthik and everyone?
Yes, it's good.
Sorry, Sri. Just can you brief me last what you told, last two lines?
That's what. In outbound, we will assign it to a warehouse order creation rule. In inbound, we will assign it to a warehouse process type. The storage process determination, basically. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I've said. Anything else?
Okay.
So I hope it's clear.
Yeah, yes, clear. No questions from my end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect then. So in such case then, okay, so there is another thing which there is something called as a pack profile. Yes. Now coming to this pack profile, see, how does the system will create a handling units on the fly? It can't create, right? There should be some configuration even for that. Agree? Hello?
Yes, yes, I agree. Even I have a doubt. That's why I'm asking you this one actually.
Yeah, that's what. So how does the system creates a handling unit without anything? How can you create on the fly a handling unit? You can't create it, right? So in order to create a particular handling unit, basically we will be having one packaging specifications for that. Okay, we will create one pack spec. You understand? So even this comes to your VAS classes again. So how does a pack spec works and all. So that's the reason I always suggest you to complete that thing, because these are all interrelated ways going forward, basically. Guys, just give me 1 second. I'm getting a call from my work. 1 second now. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Sri.
Sorry guys, I was on another call. Yeah. So now, yeah, so we are discussing about the pack profiles, right? Hello?
Yes, Sri.
Yeah. So this particular pack profiles, whatever we are seeing here, basically, now this pack profile, whatever we have, this is the one where we are talking about the creation of the handling units, basically. So now this creation of the handling units, what happens here? This all gets created based upon the this thing, like what you say, that is the conditions what we maintain. Okay, so we will tell to the system that based upon an activity area also, like if you want to create a tote box, that's a different packing material. If you want to create an carton box, that's a different handling unit material. So all these things we will create one pack profile basically first. So that pack profile, again we will assign it to the warehouse order creation rules. You're getting that? Hello?
Yes, Sri. We got it.
Am I clear
Yes, yes.
now to you? Is that clear now, everyone?
Usually, how many pack profile you create for
That
any
depends.
project?
No, that depends on your thing. How many you want, you can define that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thing?
No.
Okay. So that is one thing what we have here. Okay, the pack profiles, creations, and all. So now, apart from that, guys, apart from your packing profiles and another things, okay, obviously we have the set of creations. Now, just getting into in configuration level, we create a product. We already have a product. Let's forget about that. Activity area will be creating and sorting the bins. So creating a new WOCR. This is the one which is the most important thing for us, and the assigning the storage process, that is the one important thing, and the determination will be done for that, and the pack profile. Okay, so but if you get a chance, just have a look into this activity area and creation and the sorting, guys, because tomorrow we'll do this anyhow, because you already done this in the inbound, so that you will understand maybe tomorrow once we do it again. Okay, and the storage process assignments and all these things. Now the determination criteria and all these things will come into the picture. Okay, however, the second thing is we will create a packaging specifications. Now, when we are creating the packaging specifications, do you remember that we have something called as a condition records? At least, guys. Hello.
Yes, Sri. Condition records, yeah. We know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So that condition records we will assign the packing profiles also. Just for your information, this what we're creating. I'm just giving you an overview here. So that is one thing we'll create, and we'll create a storage bins and the storage type roles and the work centers and work center bins. We will assign that, and then we will do all these things. Okay, that is one thing. And the strategies, because obviously the system needs to pick the products automatically. If you remember that in yesterday's session, I haven't created the strategies. I wantedly created and I've choose the bins manually, if you remember that, right? But here
Yes.
the strategies would be automatically, the system would be picking up the strategies based upon the FIFO or LIFO or whatever we have it, we will pick it from that. Okay, that is one thing what I can see here. Okay, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay.
So probably tomorrow, once we back, I'll start this certain configuration, guys, because I don't want to mess up, and because I don't want to put everything in a day one. That's the reason I'm just explaining you how does a complex outbound works, guys. So then you can correlate to with inbound and outbound, and then we'll start the configuration. It will take at least one session to complete the configuration and to run the scenario. Maybe tomorrow we'll try to complete. If not, it will take another one more day. Okay, so that we can complete this complex POSC also for the outbound one, guys. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Sri.
What happened,
Thanks.
Mohammed?
No, nothing. Okay.
Anything you want?
No, nothing, Sri. It's
Okay,
okay,
nothing.
fine.
Okay. Because once you've completed this POSC, then we will look into the LOSC, which is another important concept, guys, which is layout oriented storage control, basically. Okay. That is a very important thing again. So this, because these are all the correlated things, guys, what I can say, because a complex inbound, complex outbound, LOAC, this is a major part of the EWM, if you understand that. Okay, once you have done with this particular LOAC, POAC, the rest of the things, like those are all the internal activities. Like what I can say that is, you have your replenishments one, or your physical inventories, or your posting changes, or your differences, and other thing, labor management. This all pretty much simple concepts where you can also study, or based once you start working in the EWM module, based on the experience you will be used to it basically. So these are all the ones which comes into the scenarios. But however, POIC and LOIC are the major factors which derives the complete EWM, and then the other few things comes here. That's the reason I'm just telling you, because once we have done with this, like almost like 50% we already done, but another once we have done with the POIC and LOIC, almost like 75% will be coming down actually. The rest all we have only replenishments, internal processes, and all these things, guys. That's the reason. Okay, just want to give you a heads up. So try to practice as much as you can, guys, and then let me know before we finish off the course, because once you finish, you'll at least have an overview, like what we have done and what is the concepts we have. Based on that, depending upon your projects and depending upon your experience in your project, you'll grab your experience. That is for sure. Okay.
Okay, just to ask you a question, some detail. Now we are finishing like almost like 17 class. We did like almost 17 class, maybe something similar. So we still have like 17, another 17 to finish EWM, you think?
I didn't get that question, Nicholas.
Yeah, just to ask you a question, we finished like almost 17 class. We did like 17 class in the total until now. But to finish EWM, Embedded Warehouse Management, we still need like another 17 class, or how far we are?
Obviously, yes, because as of now we have came to only 50%. So once I've completed this POIC, and after that I'll take you through the wave management, through the yard management.
Yeah.
And then I have, what do you say that once I complete this wave transportation and the yard management, then I'll take you through the LOIC. Then we have came up to almost like 70% of that. Then again we have the internal operations, like what you say that is the replenishment and all these things. You getting that? Yeah. So just want to just give, so is that the question you asked or something else you asked me?
Yeah. Just to I try to understand where we are in the EWM. It looks like
no, almost like now we have completed the 50% of it, because we have came down to 50%, and now we are entering into the next thing actually. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Or else, let me have an overview, like what are the topics we have covered at least. That would be having a better understanding for everyone, right? Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Yeah, so basically the course content, whatever we had, we have saw the landscape, right? The first thing we have saw the landscape, and then we have saw the master data, and then maybe I'll just put it in a notepad for our understandings. Okay, so after that so how do you say, the deployment, or I mean like the landscapes, whatever I say that, okay, that we already seen. And the second thing we have is the master data, which we already saw that. Okay, and the third thing is the integration. How does an EWM setup and ERP setup, we have saw that. Okay, and apart from that, we started working on the organizational structure point of view from the EWM side, right, guys? That we have saw, right? Means like a simple inbound, and how does a warehouse process types works, and how does a configuration comes into the picture, that we have saw. And after that we have started the complex POAC, right, guys? right? Complex POSC. In that particular complex POSC, what did we discuss? We have discussed about this inbound deconsolidation, and we have discussed about these things, right? Value added services. Agree, guys? Hello, we have seen these things, but only thing is we have to talk about the quality one, which is not working in this idea system, but I'll make it work. That is only one thing which I was pending from the inbound side. So after that, we came into the outbound, like simple, the simple outbound, which was you already saw that, and now which we came to across this, and the seventh one which we are trying to see the complex outbound. So this particular complex outbound only, which we saw the overview today, probably we will finish off that in next 2 sessions, guys, 2 to 3 sessions, and then we'll see the wave management and all these things. You getting my point? Hello?
Yeah. Yes.
So once we completed this complex outbound, like maybe I'll just try to tell you what we have in the complex outbound, what we finish. Then we come across these things such as the most important topic is a PPF one to me, and then we have the wave management, and then I have my transportation TU and the yard management, okay, which is the shipping and receiving activities. And then I have my other thing called as my internal operations, basically the physical inventory and all these things. I mean, like physical inventory, the replenishments or whatever that I have. On top of that, we have something called as an exceptional handling and the cross docking. Okay, so probably these are the topics. Maybe another 10 to 15 sessions, I believe we'll have it. Okay, maybe more than that.
This kitting also included in this internal processes.
Maybe that's whatever I have in that, I'll take it across to you. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what. Okay, guys, no problem. Okay then, guys. Okay. So we'll just catch up tomorrow and then we'll see the rest of the things. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Sri.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.